So can a little all-American audio company take on the big UK and Japanese home cinema brands? Well, I've been living with the Acurus Muse 16-channel immersive processor for a few months now. We're going to find out whether it has what it takes. Coming right up. Hey guys, Scott Rogan here, founder and head designer of Rogue Home Cinema. Well, it's been 20 years now in the industry for me, and today it's all about high performance, real home cinema. And to stay all across it, remember to subscribe to check out more. Immersive audio processor. It's the one critical component of the cinema sound system which can really be the absolute make or break, or that game changer to take your whole cinema to the next level. Detail, the resolution, and the control of the sound isn't there coming out of the audio processor, then, well, it's not there at all. The Acurus Muse audio processor, now this thing has taken a long time to come out. I guess it's the baby brother of the ACT4 from Acurus, which is the bigger 20-channel model. And that unit was started development back in 2013, and then Dolby, Atmos, and all the immersive surround formats came out. So what was going to be most likely a 7.1 processor had to develop and turn into all the new immersive formats. Now, this is all driven by the team at Indie Audio Labs, which you'll know of some of their work from many years ago, maybe, from the Aragon power amplifier. So these guys have been doing beautiful, high fidelity audio for decades now. Now, what exactly possessed them to get into cinema audio processing, I'm not sure, because a lot of brands have either bailed out, like Parasound, or they're just not really putting a lot of R&D in, like Datasat, we're waiting for some new things, Theta Digital, Meridian. They're really not pushing the envelope of what's happening today. So these guys have worked on the ACT for years now, and now they've created the Muse Acurus. And what I love about this is it's actually the same audio platform as the bigger ACT, but for a few less features and less channels. And the great part about that is a lot less money. Now, one thing's for sure in the past is those that invested into a beautiful cinema processor found themselves only maybe 5 years down the track with old technology, not decoding the latest sound, not compatible with the latest HDMI, wanting more channels, software which is incompatible with the HDCP or the copyright protection of HDMI, whole bunch of reasons that turned what could be a beautiful piece of audio into a dinosaur. So that's something that the guys really listened to. So the Acurus Muse and the ACT4 both have upgradable HDMI boards, upgradable firmware and software, and even upgradable audio DSP chips. So should some new audio codec came out, the DSP chip can be reinstalled and you're good to go. Now that leaves you with a beautiful piece of audio. And what is that? Well, it's the interface, it's the controller, it's the chassis in the box and the power supply. But most importantly, it is the 16 high-performance audiophile DACs on board. And they're the things you don't want to be throwing out. So in the last video, I went through some of the ins and outs and the basic features of the Muse, but now it's been 2 months since I've been living with the Acurus, and I must admit, it's been a lot of fun. Now, we've been set this up in our demo review enterprise cinema concept here in Perth, and we've been running this with the new Theory Audio speaker system. We've had the dedicated SB25 models. These are the dedicated SAT speakers, which means we've got a perfect arrangement in 7.2.4 Dolby Atmos configuration. Very revealing speaker, and with the Acurus, a really great match to be able to understand just how much resolution and quality we get from this processor. Source components are the Panasonic 9000, the Apple TV 4K, and also some good old music streaming through the Control4 EA3. So the hookup for us was pretty straightforward. The Muse has balanced output and the Theory Audio is all balanced as well. Though if you do have single-ended power amplifier, you're going to need an adapter, something like the Nutrix connectors, to convert the XLR signal of the Muse down into an RCA format. Now the Muse just has 12 fixed XLR outputs, while it has a breakout cable for the remaining 4 outputs. Now the outputs are not matrixed, so they are specific given the configuration of the unit. So the subwoofer 1 is on the 3rd output, while our subwoofer 2 output is on the 1st auxiliary output cable. Now before we actually went ahead with this unit, we put a whole new HDMI board in. So the previous one was 2.0 and we're some of the first to trial the new HDMI 2.1 board. Now feature-wise with the Cinema Pro products that we run, we're actually getting no major benefits out of 2.1. There's no feature list that we have maxed out of the previous technology and meant that we had to upgrade. But the guys in Indie Audio Labs, Acurus there, did say that the new board tended to give them even better sound quality. I wasn't able to A and B that, but the sound quality we got is excellent, so I'm very happy with the new board. IP connection, which we've used with our Control 4 system, and also without having a piece of automation, you can control the Acurus via the web browser. Both the front panel LCD display and the IP menu is super slick. I'm not sure who it was that helped them design the interface. It's really intuitive, well laid out. It's actually really beautiful to look at. It's one of the slickest, prettiest, and most functional interfaces I've seen yet. The speaker setup, rather easy to do. You actually go through and tell the unit how many base layer, height, and subwoofers you have, and then it will configure that to the outputs. Now remembering the outputs are fixed, so you have to follow the platform that are running. You don't get to just assign the matrix out the channels however you want. One thing to remember though is the auxiliary output. The cable that we got from Acurus was only about 1 meter long, so that one was fixed for the extra subwoofer outputs, and also our wide channels are going to end up coming out of that. So just be mindful that those power amplifiers or connection points are within reach of the cable. But of course you can always extend it with another XLR cable. The Theory audio speakers actually roll off closer to 60 Hertz, which is quite phenomenal for the profile that they are. But we set our crossovers all at 80 to get started. Timing on board this unit is in milliseconds, so you're going to need a little bit of math and calculation to convert your distances into milliseconds. It'd be really cool if they went into point of a millisecond to give us even greater accuracy with the timing. It all then comes down to the final calibration. Now, the Muse that we've got is without any auto EQ. It does have 5 bands of parametric EQ per channel. So with our HAA audio tools, we've managed to do a really nice measurement and calibration on the unit, but this is really manual. Now it is high resolution, we got a really great response, but I'm starting to enjoy the audio EQ systems, I must admit, particularly now that they've got a lot better. Now that's something that the guys have been working on for a long time as well. That solution is the ASP EQT, the unit that is going to do an auto, they say about an hour, calibration process in total to perfect the sound. The only catch with this is that it's a whole new kit of hardware to actually deliver that result. 4 microphones, a mixer, the processing unit, I'm not sure what that looks like yet. There's a dongle that goes into the back of the unit, and that's a pretty hefty price tag. At this stage, we're looking at thousands of dollars to add on an auto EQ to the system. Now, someone like myself that already has a complete 4 microphone mixed high resolution calibration system, buying the audio EQ one really does feel like a little bit of a double up. And for a user that just really needs to calibrate their own system every so often, it really does add to the price of the unit a whole lot. So how does the Acurus Muse processor actually sound? Well, it is stunning. It's surprising just how good this unit really was. In fact, the first day after my initial setup, I was absolutely hooked. and immersed into music. I reconnected to music all over again, and I was playing track for track for track, bringing out my old favorites. You know you've got great sound when you just dive into music and you just can't wait to play that next one. And that's exactly what happened here. We've watched a whole bunch of stuff in here. Star Trek, Captain Marvel, Bohemian Rhapsody, along with the music tracks, the Midway Ultra Blu-ray disc, amazing Atmos audio. We've really given the Acurus Muse a workout. I also had some guest processors, an Altitude Trinov, Altitude 32, and also the Anthem AVM 60. And I can tell you that with just basic configuration, I didn't do the full optimizer with the Trinov, it wasn't here too long, but with these units passing through with the same power amp and speaker system, the Muse sounds a whole lot more like the Trinov than it did the Anthem. Now what's amazing here in Aussie dollar terms, where I'm from, is the Anthem's at 5,000, the Muse is around 10,000, yet the Trinov, if we look at, say, the smaller models of Trinov, is at $25,000, so it's over double again. Now the Muse sounded a whole lot more like the Trinov, and the Anthem sounded a whole lot more like this. So it really means to me that if you can stretch that a little bit more, you're gaining a whole lot more. What was really interesting as well is I had an audio research Reference 5 SE 2-channel preamplifier. Now, you don't get much better reference. I've put the Muse up against that. So I ran my little Chord Mojo DAC that usually lives in the car. It's a pretty decent little DAC actually. We played that 2-channel, single-ended. Usually when you put something cinema that isn't $20,000 or more up against an AR Reference 5 and you swap between them, the magic just disappears, right? The sound is gone. Though, again, surprisingly, the Muse still sounded beautiful, even against the AR. And the bass response was still quick and tight. The sparkle and the top end was still really beautiful. Now, I must admit the mid-range wasn't maybe as well shaped. It didn't quite have the same body to the mid as the AR, though it was still really great. It truly is an audiophile piece of equipment, and it absolutely proved itself when I went up against the AR. So this thing is really special. It's not just special for cinema, but it's special for music, and it's just a beautiful piece of audio equipment. For a long time, cinema processors or surround sound has been claiming that it's the best way of listening to music, and yet it kind of hasn't quite been there. Though I believe that's really coming to change. And look, if you're someone at home that has a Trinov or a Storm Audio or a Datasat, you already know this. Multi-channel can absolutely immerse you and then manage and control the bass and the crossovers and do all this cool stuff to just give you a more accurate, more realistic, more spacious, more impactful sound than if you just ran 2-channel. As simple as that. It does work better. Now, for smaller processors and AVRs, they struggle. They've got a lot of work to do, and the sonic press and the sonic just clarity and quality might not be there. But in this Muse, wow. No wonder I got sucked into the music, because I absolutely did listen in the Dolby surround format, and that expanded through all channels, and it was beautiful. Now, one thing the Muse doesn't have is the Auro 3D on board. Now, that is a preferable, usually my preferred music listening in surround sound, but the Dolby surround mixer actually worked really well in here. So it'd be interesting to see if they come out with that. I've already chatted to the guys there, and they say that they could put the Auro 3D in, but it's going to cost more. So we're going to see whether or not the guys put that in. I was so surprised and so happy with the Dolby surround mixer that I didn't really feel like I was missing out on the music. Premiere movies in here were just stunning. Playing Ultra Blu-ray with Bohemian Rhapsody, that Live Aid concert scene at the end where Brian May starts just ripping into that guitar. The dynamics this processor offers is just phenomenal. You know, the light, sound, and details are there, but the body, the fullness, and the impact of even the sound of that guitar just sounded awesome. In fact, while playing some content, we pushed the levels up to 11, which I happen to do often, and so much so that the Theory audio controller had a protection mode to it. So I pushed it to effectively clipping, or in the Theory's world, cut out, because it won't let a clip occur into the speakers. So I found the limits of my power amplifier and speaker system, and the thing was, it was absolutely crystal clear, beautiful, right up into the point of going over the edge. Whereas a lot of systems, you just can't play it that loud because something else in the signal just doesn't sound very nice and you just back it off anyway. But in this case, the Muse was so clean, so accurate, we could push our speaker and amp system all the way to the very limit without even breaking a sweat of noise and distortion. What was really interesting as well, I actually had Mum here that night, and to be able to push a music concert that loud and not have her say that it was too loud means that noise and distortion was definitely nowhere to be found, and we just had the signal that director's intent to enjoy. Another real standout for us was Terminator Dark Fate. That one really fires up the Atmos channels, and the steering and the ability to manage that through the room, again, spectacular, no doubt at all. And look, certainly helped by the fact that we have the exact matching speaker throughout the room. We've got the SB25s on the ceiling, so around the room, behind the screen. So we do have that beautiful timbre matching throughout, and the Muse really serviced that beautifully. You really couldn't hear any individual speaker in here. It was just the complete immersion. But when we had I think it was the cargo plane scene, tearing overhead, there was some full-on, deep, and impactful audio from the overheads, which is really, really cool. It's some pretty big competition for the Acurus Muse. Now, it sort of sits in the middle, I must admit. You've got the Anthems and the Marantzes and the Yamahas, they're sort of over here. And then you've got the Steinway Lindorfs, the Datasats, the Storm Audios, the Trinovs over here. And of course, you also got Acurus's own ACT4 model right up there with those guys as well. Aussie dollars wise, you're looking at like 20 grand a pop for those. So the Muse sits here around 10 grand Aussie dollars, which is really right in the middle of all of them. Now here's the thing. If you're going to throw $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 into an audio processor, then that extra $3,000 or $4,000 to jump up into the Acurus is, in my verdict, absolutely worth it. From an economical quality audio processor into something that truly is an audiophile bit of kit. Now, you're not just going to gain the sound quality, but also the channels. A lot of those other brands aren't boasting 16 channels. Also, they aren't all boasting, if any, in fact, really backing up the claim of hardware upgradability, let alone DSP, software upgradability, and codec upgradability. So you really are getting a classier product and a more future-friendly product that you're likely to hold on to and keep for many, many years to come and not get a bit itchy for that other new model. Some downsides on this model, certainly for a lot of people, is going to be the EQ side. That is, unless you've got a local calibrator or you can get on the tools with REW or you've got a nice microphone calibration kit, are you going to be able to maximize the PEQ on board the unit. So that the tools are there, but you just need the skills and the extra resources to bring it all together. Now, the new ASPEQ system is around the corner, but for extra costs. So maybe a factor of bundling that all in for a total price to really get the Muse potentially closer to $15,000 than $10,000. Is the Muse still worth it? Well, I'd say Absolutely, it still is, but it's just starting to take that uber affordability a little bit further out. But look, if you can hire a calibrator to get the job done, that's only going to probably cost you $500 to $1,000 and job done. So maybe no big deal. Hope you can tell that this unit really is something really special. It is going to stay here in our demo and review room as our reference component. I'm just so stoked. I've got myself audiophile sounding music back in my life again, as well as something absolutely stunning for multi-channel. Guys, I want to know, have you ever been in a home cinema and you've had someone in the audience, maybe your partner, say that it's too loud? You know, they're like, oh no, turn it down, it's too much. Has that happened to you before? I know it certainly has with me, and you kind of want it to be more dynamic and exciting, but admittedly, there's that distortion there that can be uncomfortable for some. Hit us up in the comments, let us know what you have experienced and how you've maybe overcome that. Has it been acoustic control, a new audio component, something to smooth out that sound and give you the dynamics, the quality and detail you want, while also keeping the rest of the family happy? Guys, thanks for watching. If this video has been good value to you, remember to subscribe. Check out our website for other inspirations and services. Remember, with a great cinema at home on any day, reality can go rogue.